Hey everyone, my name's Leslie. Welcome to my channel, Books, Cause and Purrs. If it's your first time here, if you're returning, thank you for supporting me. Steff from Coffee Over Apples recently tagged me. So it's late night. My fridge just started making noises, and I'm wrapped up in a semi burrito. And so I thought I'd just tackle this tag. So here we go. The first question is, how do you rate books? Give a quick rundown of how you do your star ratings, or if you don't use star ratings, how you evaluate books. This is actually a really great question, and also one of the reasons why I wanted to do this tag. This is something I've been flip-flopping on. When I started YouTube, I wasn't doing ratings, and then I learned more about like the booktube space and realized that's something that people do. But over time, I've grown to like dislike that system, and sometimes people aren't really willing to hear a conversation about a book once you give your rating. Or I don't know why there's such a fervor over or I don't know how to say it. Like, I basically, for me, like 3 stars is good, 5 stars is perfect, and of course, 1 star, 0 would be not good. But anything less than a 5, sometimes people get like real bothered by it. So I just want to foster communication, discussion, discourse, and so this year you might have already noticed it. I've just phased that out. I don't even give a rating anymore. And just recently, actually, when I reviewed D.L. Tillery's book Cagliostro that I really enjoyed, I'm switching to buy or borrow. And there's nuance to that. So buy means, yeah, I love the book. Borrow, maybe have some critiques. But on top of that, the nuance is maybe there's a book that I love so much, but maybe it's a bit traumatic. So maybe the book would be best put in the borrow category. So I'll be doing that from here on out until I decide it doesn't work for me anymore. But I'm really done with the rating system. The only time you'll ever see me engage with the rating system is if I'm writing a book on Storygraph or other services that require it, right? So even on my own Instagram, oh, excuse me, I'm tired, or my YouTube channel, you're just not going to see that. It's just, I'm looking for discussions, not necessarily just like a quick rating. And I definitely want to talk about books in a way where it's a discussion rather than necessarily a book review. And so, yeah, that's kind of why that system just doesn't work for me anymore. So the second question is, how do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structure? I've definitely learned that I'm emotional, probably way more than I'd like to be, but that's definitely an element of it. I really enjoy nonfiction, um, but those could be really like just heavy on the heart, heavy on the mind. Um, I I wish I could say I have structure. There's definitely a structure that I'm gravitating towards, but I kind of waffle just depending on the books. Ooh, excuse me. I really love character driven books are my jam. Even if it's, I guess sometimes that's why I really enjoy memoirs, right? I'm stepping into someone else's life and going on a journey with them. Um, hmm. Yeah, when I read books, here's the thing. Even the way I tab books is chaotic. I just I'll tag up a book based on just whatever sticks out to me. I do want to get a little more technical over time, but that's just going to take practice. I'm just not as technical as other book reviewers are. Um, and so, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. 3, what's the book that made you a reader, whether it was your first favorite or the one that got you hooked. What book started it all? Well, there are just a variety of books that really got me into reading. And I feel like I give the same answers all the time because I've seen this question in different iterations. So, yes, Amy Tan's Joy Luck Club, Anne Rice's Interview the Vampire. When I was younger, it was Amelia Bedelia. I really love that. And so there was a show called Storytime, which I've talked about before. Actually, if you look up Storytime on YouTube, they do have like a whole bunch of their videos, which is cool to watch. And there was also like, I grew up with reading Rainbow. And so I was always encouraged to read through watching television. Um, and yes, those two authors are actually like the defining authors that really got me into reading. I'm so sorry. It is nighttime, and I just can't get away from these yawns. 4. Do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate towards, or do you read widely across genres? I definitely read widely across genres. Um, yes, because even last year, I tried to just challenge myself to read romance, and so I'm starting to really like pleasantly I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed like the romance books that I have. And if anything, I feel like I've really started to hone on like critique skills through reading romance because I really have a better understanding of what I like and I don't like in romance. And I find like there's like a level of specificity that I could kind of like put onto that than I do other genres, right? Especially when the romance seems to be like a genre that can be, not always, trope heavy, right? So I definitely like books that have the element of surprise, you know? But then again, sometimes a cozy read that's predictable is nice too, right? Oh my goodness. Um, but on top of that, I really do gravitate towards books that have a focus on social injustice. So I'm a little bit all over the map. 5. Do you generally prefer character driven or plot driven stories? Character driven. Uh, and it also depends. It has to be done well. But yes, definitely gravitate towards character driven. And as long as it's a character driven story that will sacrifice plot in order to focus on character, I'm okay with it. It just has to be done well. A great example that so many people love is oh my gosh, Ocean Vuong's. I know the name of the book. What am I forgetting? On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I feel like I got that wrong. And there was also Joshua Whitehead's Johnny Appleseed. Those books came out in the same year, and they did something very similar in terms of just focusing on character rather than plot. And I really enjoyed them both. Um, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's that one book you love enough for everyone? Um, oh my goodness. Okay, it's sleep time. Let me see. I don't know, because you know me, I'm a fanatic for interview, but I could definitely pick apart that book. So it's definitely not like necessarily the most beloved book. It just cultivates like a space for conversation, right? Oh my goodness. I don't know if I really have an answer for that one right now. And I'm sure after I do this tag, the answer will come to me. I don't know. I don't really feel like that about anyone. I really enjoyed A Song of Ice and Fire. I definitely love like just the opportunity to like engage with like fan bases, like fantasy worlds as well, even though I don't always read them. Um, but yeah, I really can't think of one. Let me see. 7. What's a book you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? The book or books where a difference of opinion is a strong indicator of different reading preferences. Yeah. See, some of the things that I'm really into, because I really enjoy like nonfiction. Um, I'm definitely enjoying over these past couple of years, like historical fiction. Oh gosh, what did I choose from? Yeah, I'm gonna take the easy route and say if someone doesn't like Interview the Vampire, I just feel like you need to make room, right, for a little bit of everything. Um, but yeah, that would be a defining factor. It wouldn't necessarily be that if I'll go this way. My more focus is just that if someone doesn't read diversely, we're definitely not going to align. That's kind of like a broad answer. It's not necessarily a specific book, you know. 8. What's in your trash pocket? What books, tropes, or themes that you know are bad, but you always love them anyway? Do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that, if present, immediately turns you off from the book? Um, I'm not the biggest fan of enemies to lovers trope. It just has to be done well. Sometimes I feel like in lesser hands, it could be used to just justify toxic behavior. Other times I've seen authors handle it really well in a way that seems like an appropriate, healthy way to write a story. Um, Something else I'm not the biggest fan of, but DL Tillery did it well, is I'm not really into like the billionaire trope or like just the rich love interest. I'm tired of that. I had a discussion with a friend and they said something like, just like to counter my thoughts on this preference. And they were just saying that, like, oh, well, people read books to escape. But to me, I feel like, well, yeah, I don't really believe in really escaping anything. But if I'm going to read something for like a sense of comfort, why would I want to read about a billionaire? Unless I read a character that's actually giving up all their money to help like the world economy, it's not gonna work for me. So I'm not really a big fan of like the billionaire trope. It just bothers me. The billionaires are the problem. They shouldn't exist. Financially, they shouldn't exist. Uh, so 10. What's a strong opinion you have about a book release within the last year? Whether it's overrated, underrated, or just a take you need to share. I don't think I've read any releases just yet. I am really excited to read Stephen Graham Jones' The Vampire Hunter. Just the premise alone makes me think that, okay, there's going to be some nods narratively, mildly, by the way, to how Anne Rice handled vampires. But it's going to be something that's uniquely Stephen Graham Jones, right? He's written so many horror genre books. The only one I've read is Only Good Indians, and that book really blew me away. I mean, I loved it, and I don't read horror that often, but the storytelling was just so good that that I look forward to it. And I'm hoping it's not going to be like an overrated hype thing. I hope I enjoy it. I'm trying to think if I have another example. There's Bookshops and Bone Dust that came out, which is a prequel to Legends and Lattes. I didn't love it as much as I did at Legends and Lattes, so that was a little bit disappointing. People seem to still really enjoy it, but that first book, Legends and Lattes, just really has my heart, really. 11. What do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose style, themes, voice structure, or something else? Oh my goodness, so many things. It's prose style. I mean, One of my favorite authors is Hanifa Durkee. Um, there's something about not just his writing, but that's the only example that comes to me, is when a writer writes its prose style, but there's a rhythm to it, almost like a rhyme scheme. And for instance, Hanifa Durkee is also a poet, so there's just kind of like that merging of those qualities. That's also something that Ocean Vuong did really well. And Ocean Vuong is also a writer that has written a full-length novel, but has also written poetry. So I like that blending of the two. It just provides like a musicality that really captures me. I guess maybe that's a bit too like flowery writing, but it seems to work for me really well. I like stream of consciousness, even though I don't always understand. Andre Ossaman is someone that I really don't bring up enough, but I did read Call Me by Your Name, and he has another book called Out of Egypt, which was one of his memoirs. He's recently come out with another memoir I haven't read yet, but his writing is absolutely beautiful. He also has a romance book he put out that I really didn't like. It was about these kind of like stuck up rich characters. So much so that the way that they talk to each other is very annoying. I can't remember the title of the book. I ended up giving it to a friend because I thought maybe she might like it or be able to understand it better. But it was the one book the author said that when he was writing it, he kept getting really stuck. And that book was due first. He put it aside because it wasn't working for him. But then he ended up writing Call Me by Your Name, and Call Me by Your Name just flowed out of him. But when you go back and read that other book that he wrote, that's like a romance, you could kind of see like some of the paragraphs sounded too much like Call Me by Your Name. Like you could actually see the progress of him being frustrated with a book and it not working, and how he grabbed some of that language and put it into Call Me by Your Name. So that also threw off the reading experience, and I really didn't like. Um, so yes, voice, a strong sense of voice. I love when authors could really like capture the personality of a character, because that's really not um, as easy as you might think, and it's not always captured in books. I love a sense of humor. I, I love stand up, so if someone can make me laugh, I'm all for it. 12. How do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors, hype recommendation arcs? I wish I could be a mood reader. I'm more of a project person. For instance, if you've been watching my channel, you already know I've dedicated myself to doing a readathon for the next 2 years, where I snoop onto the shelves of my beloved characters from Interview the Vampire, read books, and also ask the question, why is this book on their shelf? What books could I recommend them? And also when I'm reading that book, how does that lend to like recontextualizing the character and how I felt about them when I was watching the television show? So that's what I'm doing. And so yes, I'm definitely someone that is not a mood reader. It would be nice if I was. 13. Where do you get inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas? Other creators, trends, personal reading experiences. Oh my goodness. Well, yes. These next 2 years, I mean, I've definitely been influenced by an entire television show. But it's not just that. It's just oh gosh, what sparks my ideas? I Other creators don't spark ideas for me. I do enjoy so many other accounts and what they're doing, but I leave it there. I love them, I appreciate them, but I can never do like what other creators do. Um I don't have that technique, I don't have the skill, I don't have the technologies, I don't have the the sense of humor. I love to laugh, but I can't carry on like some people do. I just recently came across someone's channel that was just so dang funny. I just went down a rabbit hole because I was so tickled. So yeah, definitely not necessarily inspiration inspiration. I don't know, I think that sounds kind of odd to say, but my inspiration is basically just me looking at my shelves and realizing I have way too many books and then I need to read what I have versus going out and picking up any more books, which I did have one book haul this year, and I'm proud of myself for waiting that long because post-pandemic, I've done a lot of spending because I don't really have vices, but it's still not good to just like frivolously spend. So I'm like really pulling back on that. So unfortunately, right now, like my biggest influence is just whatever I have on my shelf, basically. All right, 14. If you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention and why? Oh gosh, make a book go viral. They're two books. Here's the thing. I don't pay attention to how financially well books do, so I'm not always in the know about what books were considered a success. So yes, again, Hanif Abdurraqib, I wish more people know about his work, but I think his books do well. There was the author of Rainbow Milk. Again, I live in a bubble, so if these books did really well, I just wouldn't know. I think what that particular author wrote was really beautiful, but I don't think I necessarily heard that author get accolades the way that, let's say, Ocean Vuong got. And so I would like that for him. I'm going to kick myself when I think of other books I read this year. I just read Cagliostro by D.L. Tillery, and I think they had such a unique take on supernatural creatures that I wish their book would really go viral because I was so pleasantly surprised. Her, I don't know what to say. Could I say craftsmanship in writing to create a zig when she's actually zagging, just like, I don't want to say plot twist because I feel like that's too simple, but she just really knows how to create the element of surprise, even though she's really like delicately laid the groundwork. The context clues are there. Has been such a joy to read. Okay, 15. Who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? That would be Margaret Pennard, who has a YouTube channel, but is also an author. But they read quite a bit. They probably read way more than I do, and talk about that on their channel. So it's not just all about the author tube side of things. Steff from Coffee Over Apples, I realize we really align in some ways. There's also the Schizophrenic Reader, I think is his channel name. He's big on the Clock app, I think, and I've seen him around the gram, but he also has a YouTube channel right now, and he covers a lot of nonfiction that I'm interested in. So yeah, that's all I could think of. Yeah, that's the last one. Sorry, I'm doing this while I'm tired, but I really want to stay on top of doing tags this year. So, just so you know, if I've tagged you, I've tried to pick up some people that I've recently subscribed to that kind of made me giggle. But if you happen to do this tag already, just don't worry about it. I hope everyone's doing well. Love you to pieces. And I'm going to say goodnight because I'm going to bed. Bye, everyone. Sweet dreams. Happy reading.